Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Friday evening special event. This was an extremely exciting experience for me. 31 years ago, I went to the Japanese embassy in Washington, D.C. to interview for the JEP program, in which I would spend my first year out of college teaching English in public school in Japan. It was an exciting and intimidating experience, but happily I got the job and it changed the course of my life. It helped me improve my language skills, and it made me want to be a teacher. Now, 31 years later, I had the great privilege of returning to the embassy with my friends, Tomoko Takami, incoming president of the American Association of Teachers of Japanese, and Celia Zamora, director of professional learning and certification at ACTFL, who also has studied Japanese and tea ceremony. We were able to take part in an authentic Japanese tea ceremony in the tea hut on the grounds of the embassy. This is a Japanese tea house named Ippakute, meaning the tea house of 100 years. Considered the greatest of its kind outside of Japan, it was built in 1960 to commemorate the centennial anniversary of the ratification of the Japan-US Treaty of Amity and Commerce. This was also a wonderful experience for me because I had to act as the guest of honor for the tea ceremony. I had to learn some new vocabulary and expressions, and I had to be sure I was doing the tea ceremony correctly. You may catch a few moments of my struggles as a lifelong learner of Japanese as you watch. Please enjoy this video of our trip to the Japanese embassy in Washington for tea ceremony.
そうかしら。季節とかしてコスモスの小道でございます。していただくので聞きやすいです。
お先にお手前頂戴いたします。とても美味しかったです。素敵なお茶碗ですね。
こちらは当落作の菊間柿でございます。ちょうど季節でございますから、菊の。
あ、そうなんですか。お茶目は？
お茶名は清流の城で、 おつめは竜王園でございます。
お軸はどういう意味がありますでしょうか。
これは清流寒暖なしというふうに読みます。先代の堀之内宗寛先生が書かれたものなんですけれども、うちの母が所有しておりまして、それを譲り受けたものでございます。今ちょうどこういう季節でございますけれども、ちょっとこの裏のロッククリークパークに行っても素敵な川の流れの、ね、音が聞こえますけれども、そういう清らかなお水が絶え間なく流れているという、そういう様子でございまして、お茶もそうですけれども、代々こういうふうにいろんなものを長年伝えていくっていうのは非常の努力がいると、はい、そういう意味もちょっと入っております。いい
意味ですね。
頂戴いたしました。チャンネルは
清流の城でございます。
おつめは
竜王園でございます。
まとめ頂戴いたします。
お茶の方。私たちのワシントン、お松政権のワシントンの会議とかが日本から帰ってきてくださったので、まだ、はい、新鮮なお茶でございます、私も。
I'm here at this beautiful Japanese tea house on the grounds of the Embassy of Japan in Washington, D.C. with Professor Kanako Yamashita, a representative of the Washington, D.C. Omote Senke. And that was an absolutely wonderful experience. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Very much. When you're doing tea ceremony, you can feel that it's an ancient tradition. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of tea ceremony in Japan?
Sure. So tea itself was brought by Buddhist monk from China, and it was first drunk for its medicinal value, but evolved into something more cultural, artistic, and spiritual. And it's Senno Rikyu who developed it to current form over 400 years ago, and we still carry on this tradition. It's basically a very special communication between host and guest through the enjoyment of tea and sweets together.
And I could really feel that today. It's so special. I know that not all Japanese people do tea ceremony. How did you get involved with it?
Okay. So my mother was a professor of tea ceremony, so I was immersed into this when I was young, except that I didn't care for it so much at that time, and I thought, wow, why do I have to go through all this trouble when you can just make tea with a tea bag? But then I went to study in UK when I was age 16, and then I understand that people started asking me about Japanese culture, tradition, and Japanese tea ceremony. And so when I returned to Japan, when I was to go to university, I said, oh, now I really need to study tea ceremony properly so that I can introduce authentic tea ceremony.
How interesting. So going to another culture made you think more about your own culture. That's so
correct.
interesting.
Yes.
Wow. I did a little reading before today, and I was reading about this expression, ichigo ichie, or one opportunity, one encounter. Can you tell me a little bit more about that expression in tea ceremony?
So that's really the essence of tea ceremony, because it's all about the experience. And then it's this one encounter, one opportunity, right? Because we can meet again 1 month from now or 2 years from now, but it still won't be the same experience, even if we meet right here. So that means we really need to live in that moment and cherish that moment.
It's so true. It's so true. That certainly was ichigo ichie for me here all day today. And I'm sure some people watch this and think, well, that looks wonderful, but how can I get some of that feeling at my house if I don't have a tea ceremony house in my backyard? How can I do some of the same sort of relaxing and wonderful and beautiful things about tea ceremony just in my own house? Is that possible?
Sure, and it's much easier now because you can get matcha tea, the ground green tea, much more easily in US. Yes. And then basically you need a tea bowl, which can be something that you can adapt from soup bowl or pottery bowl or something. But you do need to have a bamboo whisk, and then of course good quality water that you heat up. So basically in the tea bowl, you put 1.5 scoop of matcha tea, the powder tea, and then you pour hot water, and then you whisk it with a bamboo whisk until it's frosty. Yeah. So and that's how you enjoy it. And then having sweet also helps.
Yes. Having the sweet was lovely. The sweet we ate today was absolutely beautiful. It was so perfect for the season. And I also enjoy so much the way we inspect the bowl itself. And it's beautiful, and it usually has a history and a story. And so maybe people in their homes can use something special.
That's correct. Yes. It could be something from their grandmother, or something special from their trip. Because that adds to the meaning of this special one counter, one opportunity.
Yes. Well, it was absolutely a wonderful experience for me. We will have more information about how to do tea ceremony or to learn more about tea ceremony or do it in your home available through ACTFL. And I want to thank you, Yamashita Sensei and Tamanaha Sensei, and all of the people here at the Embassy of Japan for this incredible ichigo ichie experience.
It's a pleasure, and thank you so much. It was wonderful to collaborate.